Alex had always been drawn to the edge of the galaxy. Most humans avoided the uncharted regions, calling them dangerous, unwelcoming, or simply empty. But Alex had never been like most humans. As a pilot and explorer, he craved the unknown, the mysteries that no one had yet touched. It was in these spaces that he felt alive, where each star could hold a new secret and every planet a story waiting to be told. He navigated his small but sturdy ship, the Aurora, through thick asteroid belts and magnetic storms. Today, his destination was a planet marked only as X-117b in the old Galactic charts. It was said to be abandoned, with strange energy readings that no one could explain. The locals who had come across it in passing spoke only of strange shadows moving across the surface. But Alex, driven by curiosity and confidence, wanted to see it for himself. As he descended into the planet's atmosphere, a dense mist wrapped around the ship like a soft blanket. The sky glowed a muted violet streaked with sharp, jagged clouds. Mountains with crystalline surfaces rose from the ground, reflecting the faint light of the planet's distant sun. Strange structures dotted the landscape, towering spires of unknown material that seemed to hum softly. Alex's scanner went wild with readings, showing high concentrations of energy that no one had ever recorded on a natural planet. He landed carefully in a clearing between two of the largest spires. The mist made everything eerie, but Alex was used to strange planets. He donned his exploration suit, checked his equipment, and stepped outside. The air was breathable but had a metallic tang, almost as if the planet itself was alive. As he approached one of the spires, a movement caught his eye. Something glided between the shadows of the crystalline structures. Alex froze. His hand instinctively went to his scanner, ready to detect life forms. Slowly, a figure emerged from the darkness, stepping into a sliver of pale light. She was unlike anything Alex had ever seen. Her skin was pale, almost translucent, and her eyes glowed a deep crimson. Fangs peeked from her lips, sharp but elegant. Her long, black hair flowed like liquid shadow around her shoulders. She moved with a grace that seemed both human and not human, every step measured, deliberate. Alex's first instinct was caution, but his second was fascination. The figure paused and looked at him, a flicker of uncertainty in her eyes. "My face, it's scary," she whispered, almost as if confessing a secret. Her voice was soft, melodic, carrying centuries of solitude. She seemed hesitant, as if she had never spoken to another being for hundreds of years. Alex took a step closer, lowering his scanner. "No," he said gently. "You are the most beautiful in the galaxy." The words hung in the misty air. The alien, her name was Lyria, as she later introduced herself, blinked in surprise. No human had ever spoken to her like that. She had been trapped on this planet for centuries, isolated because others feared her appearance. Creatures from distant systems, humans included, had always reacted with horror, violence, or avoidance. But Alex, he did not flinch. For a long moment, they simply observed each other. Lyria's crimson eyes searched Alex's face for signs of deceit, for fear, for judgment. There was none. Instead, he smiled warmly, a smile that seemed to carry the weight of trust, kindness, and courage all at once. Finally, Lyria spoke. "Why, do you say that?" "Everyone fears me," Alex shrugged. "Fear is easy. Courage is rare. And beauty? Beauty isn't always about what people expect to see. It's about what's inside. I see you, not just the shadows around you." Her eyes softened. She had never heard words like this before. Humans had always been the creatures of instinct, reacting to appearance, to danger. Alex reacted to her presence, to her mind, to the life that had been hidden behind fear and isolation. Over the next few hours, Alex and Lyria talked. She told him about her species, creatures who had once roamed multiple systems but had vanished after wars and plagues. Lyria herself had been cursed, trapped on this planet as punishment for disobeying an ancient law of her people. Her powers, she explained, were immense. She could manipulate shadows, move faster than the eye could see, and sense life forms across great distances. Yet she had never harmed anyone unless threatened, choosing solitude over violence. Alex listened, fascinated. He asked questions not out of fear, but out of genuine curiosity. He wanted to understand her world, her abilities, and her centuries of loneliness. Slowly, Lyria's walls began to fall. She had been alone for so long that she had forgotten what it was like to be seen, truly seen, as a being worthy of attention, care, and respect. Night fell over the misty planet. Stars blinked like distant lanterns in the violet sky, and the alien structures glowed faintly with internal light. The atmosphere was thick with tension, not dangerous, but charged with possibility. Alex extended his hand. "Let me help you see the galaxy beyond this planet." "You don't have to be alone," Lyria hesitated. The fear of the unknown had been her constant companion for centuries. But something in Alex's eyes, his voice, his calm courage, told her this human would not harm her. Slowly, she placed her hand in his. The connection was electric, but not in a threatening way. It was a spark of trust, of hope, of something she had long believed impossible. As they prepared to leave the planet, Alex noticed the way Lyria's posture changed. She stood taller, her eyes brighter. The shadows that had clung to her for centuries seemed to shrink away, replaced by the warmth of companionship. For the first time, she realized that beauty and strength were not about how others perceived her. They were about how she saw herself and who she allowed to see her truth. Their journey off the planet was cautious but smooth. Lyria's powers complemented Alex's piloting skills. She could sense dangerous energy fields, manipulate minor gravitational anomalies, and even move small objects with her thoughts to assist with the ship's controls. Alex marveled at her abilities but never treated her as a tool. He treated her as a partner, equal and capable, which only strengthened her trust. By the time they left the planet's orbit, the distant sun was rising, casting long streaks of violet and gold across the ship's hull. Lyria looked out at the stars and whispered, "I never thought I could feel hope again." Alex smiled. "You've always had it. You just didn't see it. Sometimes all it takes is someone willing to remind you." As they ventured further into the uncharted regions, Lyria began to understand the human she had met. Alex was not fearless. He acknowledged danger, prepared for it, and respected it, but he faced it anyway. That was the kind of courage Lyria admired. It was different from her own centuries of careful survival. It was bold, daring, and yet grounded in empathy. The two shared stories, jokes, and reflections as the ship sailed through the silent expanse. Alex told her about human civilizations, about Earth, about the beauty of small, simple things. Lyria shared memories of her past, of her family, of her kind's lost worlds. Slowly, an unspoken bond formed, a bond of trust, mutual respect, and something that felt a lot like friendship, though it carried the weight of centuries of loneliness. As part one comes to a close, Lyria, once a fearful and isolated figure, begins to understand that the galaxy is vast, full of wonders, and that perhaps she does not have to face it alone. Alex's belief in her, his unwavering courage and kindness have given her a glimpse of a new life, one that she can shape herself. The journey ahead promises adventure, challenges, and discoveries. But for the first time in centuries, Lyria feels ready. And so, amid the endless stars and the quiet hum of the aurora, a human and an alien vampire woman set off together, ready to face the galaxy and all the mysteries it held, their bond a beacon against the darkness. The aurora glided through the endless stars, carrying Alex and Lyria farther from the shadowed planet where she had lived in isolation for centuries. Lyria had never traveled among the stars before, and every glance out of the viewport was a revelation. Gas giants with swirling, colorful storms, moons glinting like jewels, and vast asteroid fields that sparkled under distant suns. Each sight made her gasp with quiet wonder. Alex noticed her reactions and smiled. "You've never seen anything like this, have you?" he asked, adjusting the ship's course to pass near a bright nebula. "No," Lyria admitted, her voice soft. "I thought the galaxy ended at my planet. I never imagined it could be this beautiful." Alex leaned beside her, pointing to streaks of light as cosmic dust glowed in the nebula. "It's bigger than anyone imagines. Bigger than fear. Bigger than loneliness." For the first time, Lyria felt the full weight of freedom. She stretched her wings. Not literal wings, but the faint shadows that always trailed her. Extensions of her power that had once been a source of fear. Now they moved with her willingly, reacting to her emotions. She realized that she had spent centuries believing she was trapped, that her appearance made her unworthy, and that no one would ever care. Yet here was a human treating her like a friend, a partner, an equal. Their journey was not without challenges. The further they went, the more strange signals and readings they encountered. One day, a dense field of energy blocked their path. Alex examined it carefully. This isn't natural, he muttered. Someone or something created it. Lyria stepped closer, her crimson eyes glowing brighter. It could be dangerous, she warned. I can feel it. It's not just energy, it's alive in some way. Alex grinned. Then it's exactly the kind of challenge we should face together. They navigated through the field cautiously. Lyria used her powers to detect weak points in the energy currents, guiding Alex safely through. When they emerged on the other side, a small, abandoned space station floated in the void. It was ancient, covered with strange markings and corroded panels. This must be thousands of years old, Alex said, scanning the structure. But the energy readings are still strong. Something here is active. Inside the station, shadows flickered, but Alex and Lyria moved confidently. Lyria could sense the presence of life, dormant but watching. They discovered rooms filled with old technology, alien artifacts, and databanks containing histories of civilizations long gone. Lyria's curiosity flared. These are my people's lost records, she whispered. They survived somewhere. I never imagined I'd find this, Alex smiled. Then we'll unlock it together. Whoever fears you on your old planet doesn't matter. You can help me understand this, and maybe it will help you understand yourself too. Hours passed as they explored. Lyria guided Alex through the station's security systems, moving silently, using her powers to manipulate shadows and bypass dangerous traps. Alex, in turn, translated alien symbols and analyzed technology with his human ingenuity. Their teamwork was seamless, a dance of trust, intellect, and courage, but the exploration drew attention. Unknown sensors triggered alarms, and before they could react, the station's defense systems activated. Robotic sentries with glowing red eyes advanced, firing energy beams. Lyria's instincts took over. Shadows extended from her body, twisting and flowing like living weapons, deflecting blasts and disarming the sentries. Alex maneuvered the ship's portable weapons and tools, taking advantage of every weakness in the robot's programming. Together, they moved through the station with precision. Lyria's fear of her own power began to fade. Here, her abilities were not something to hide, but a gift that could protect, assist, and create. Alex's confidence in her helped her believe in herself, in her strength and in her beauty, not her physical appearance, but the courage and spirit that shone through. After neutralizing the last sentry, they found the station's central chamber. A holographic projection flickered to life, displaying images of alien worlds, star maps, and logs from an ancient civilization. Lyria studied it intently. This is my heritage, she whispered. I thought all of it was gone. I thought I was the last. Alex put a hand on her shoulder. You're not alone anymore. You never were. And now we can share this knowledge with the galaxy. Together. They spent hours poring over the records. Lyria learned of her ancestors' travels, their discoveries, their alliances with other civilizations, and the mistakes that had led to their near extinction. She saw strength in her lineage, intelligence, and courage that mirrored what Alex saw in her. As they prepared to leave the station, a new threat emerged. From the shadows of the docking bay, a fleet of alien ships arrived. Their markings were unknown, aggressive, and clearly meant to capture or destroy intruders. Lyria froze for a moment. She had not faced organized enemies for centuries. Alex grasped her hand. We'll handle this together. In the battle that followed, Alex piloted the Aurora through complex maneuvers, while Lyria extended her powers to disable weapons, confuse sensors, and create illusions of multiple ships. The human and the vampire woman fought as a team, each protecting the other, each relying on the other's strengths. Finally, the alien fleet retreated. Alex looked at Lyria, who was breathing heavily but smiling. You were incredible, he said. Not because of your powers, but because you trusted yourself and me. Lyria's eyes glowed softly. I never thought I could fight like this. I never believed anyone would stand beside me. Alex shrugged, a playful smile on his face. Well, that's what humans do. We see the impossible and decide to try anyway. The encounter changed Lyria. She no longer saw herself as a fearful, isolated being. She realized that true beauty was not measured by appearances, fangs, or pale skin. It was measured by courage, kindness, and the willingness to stand with someone else. Their journey continued. They visited planets with skies that rained glowing crystals, oceans filled with floating life forms, and civilizations that had never encountered humans before. Everywhere they went, Lyria's presence caused awe, fear or disbelief. But Alex's unwavering respect and admiration never wavered. He treated her as an equal, a friend, and eventually, something more, a partner in exploring the galaxy and facing its challenges. One day, on a small forested moon, they encountered a village of aliens suffering from a mysterious illness. Lyria's knowledge of biology, her people's medicine, and her powers of energy manipulation allowed her to help heal them. The villagers were wary at first, frightened by her appearance, but Alex encouraged them to see her courage and her kindness. By the time they left, Lyria had earned their respect, and for the first time she felt proud of who she was. Throughout these adventures, the bond between Alex and Lyria deepened. Lyria learned to laugh again, to trust, to dream beyond the fear and shadows of her past. Alex in turn marveled at the courage and wisdom she carried, at how a being so feared by the galaxy could possess such gentleness and brilliance. One quiet night, as they drifted through a star cluster, Lyria looked out of the ship's viewport. "I never thought I could feel this alive," she whispered. Her eyes reflected the stars, alive with wonder, hope, and courage. Alex stood beside her. "You've always been alive. You just didn't know it yet." For the first time, Lyria truly believed it. She understood that beauty was more than skin or fangs. It was courage, kindness, empathy, and the willingness to face the galaxy with someone who believes in you. As the Aurora sailed toward new worlds, Lyria knew one thing for certain: she would never be alone again. And wherever the galaxy took them, through danger, mystery, or wonder, she would face it with Alex, the human who saw her for what she truly was: extraordinary. The stars stretched endlessly before them, a canvas of infinite possibilities. And for the first time in centuries, Lyria smiled freely, fangs glinting in the starlight, knowing that the universe was vast, beautiful, and full of adventures that she could now share with someone she trusted completely. Together, human and vampire woman, they ventured deeper into the galaxy, leaving behind the shadows of fear, loneliness, and isolation, stepping into a future where courage and kindness defined beauty, and where anything was possible.